All right, boys and girls, hope everybody's having a great day. It's wet and cold. What a horrible combination. It's a nice Sunday for me. I'm at work, pretty busy, makes the time go by fairly quickly. Yesterday, the race that was supposed to happen in Ocean Springs, the 5K, was a no-go. They postponed it to December 20th. A little bummed about that because that's the week of Christmas. Historically, my day off is Christmas Day. It's retail. Those of you that work in retail or familiar with anyone that works in retail know that, being in retail management, you're limited to your days off. You don't normally get your 2 days off. You normally get the holiday off, and that's it. Hey, no big deal. I don't want to say it's just another day for me. Got a great boss. She decided to be generous and give us all our second day off. So I get to go to the race on December 20th. More than I'm looking forward to that race, I'm looking forward to the races coming up December 13th and 14th in Biloxi, the 5K and the half marathon. And I was thinking back to the very first race I ever done. It was a race in Gulfport, and it was in October, and it was a race to bring awareness to breast cancer research. So all proceeds for that 5K went to breast cancer research. I believe the organization back then was making strides against breast cancer. I believe that organization has changed hands, changed names. I don't remember what it's called now. It's still for a good cause, still in production. But guys, that very first race, it's 5K, 3.1 miles. I think I finished that race in a little over an hour. And I remember getting to the finish line. Now, mind you, got a t-shirt. Races are fairly standard. You get a t-shirt and you're awarded a medal at the end, most races. Now, local community races here at home, 9 times out of 10, t-shirt, medal. That, like I said, was my very first race. Didn't know what to expect. I was given a t-shirt. I was like, hey, that's great. And get to the finish line, I'm given a sticker. I remember looking at that sticker and thinking, what the heck is this? So some of my gym friends were there, and I said, what is this? And they said, that's what you get for finishing. I said, that's it? And they look at me and they said, well, what did you expect? And I said, well, I thought you got a medal or something. They said, well, not on this race. You get the sticker and you got your t-shirt that you got on. And they said, but how do you feel? And I said, well, I feel good. I said, my legs are killing me. And I thought, I just finished my first 5K race. I walked the entire thing, guys. It was a little over an hour. I was probably one of the last 5 or 6 that finished, but I finished. And I remember talking to my brothers, talking to my grandmother, my mom, friends. And, I was excited. I did something that I never done before. I did something that I never would have been able to do pre-weight loss surgery. And once I started sitting there talking about it, emotion came over, and I'm like, I walked 3.1 miles nonstop. It took over an hour to do, but I did it. There was a time that I couldn't even walk a quarter of a mile without hurting. And I finished that without complaining of hurting. Now that was, weight loss surgery was 2019, so that would have been 2020, I believe. Yeah, 2020. I remember going back to the gym. The gym did a write-up on everyone that did that race, made special mention that it was my first ever 5K to complete. So you get accolades, and it's great, getting that pat on the back, getting that high five, because the gym knew my struggles. Several people there knew me, so they knew where I came from with my weight and where I was then. And they said, all right, there's another race coming up. You need to sign up for it. And I was like, okay, what is it? And they said, it's the Battleship. It's over in Mobile. It starts at Bass Pro Shop and it ends at Battleship. I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up. And they're like, really? Some of the people are looking at me and laughing. And then it's like, yeah. I said, I'll sign up for it. Signed up for it. Once looking at the distance, I was like, hey, if my gym's signing up for it, I'm going to sign up for it too. So fast forward to that weekend in November, never once thought to look at the distance of the race or anything. I was just like, hey, they're all doing it, I'm doing it. Guys, it was a 12K. First race was a 5K. Second race was a 12K, 7.1 miles. I thought I was going to die. Did I finish? Absolutely. Did I get awarded? Absolutely. Did I reward myself? Absolutely. That was an experience. The Battleship 12K race is one that I do every year. It is one that I thoroughly enjoy as far as a local race goes, just because you're honoring the military. You're honoring those that have sacrificed and served and gave their all. The money that you are paying for that race, it's going to wounded warriors. It's going towards veteran families that struggle. I mean, it's for a good cause. So finished that race in nearly 3 hours. I remember, I think one of the first phone calls I made was to my brother, Ryan, and he was, applauding me and everything. And he says, well, you're just doing it for the t-shirt. You're just doing it for the medal. I'm like, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And we went back and forth. That's because that's what brothers do. And I believe he made that same comment to my grandmother, and she, well, I'm glad that he's out there doing it. What are you doing? Because he's out there working for it. So what if he gets that t-shirt and that medal? She said, he's working. He's out there busting his butt, walking and everything. And so we can fast forward to current, and I think we've probably gotten about 20 races under our belt now. I'm happy to say that I can do a 5K in about 40 minutes, because I still jog, walk, half marathon, 3 hours, right at 3 hours or a little under. And for me, it's not about competing to finish in a time. I don't train for I've never trained for a single one of these races, because I see people out there walking. I see people jogging. I see people racing competitively. I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I'm there to start it, and I'm there to finish it. And I've told this a couple of times, to date, the New York City Half Marathon that I did last March was the absolute best race, large-scaled race that I have ever competed in. I finished in 2 hours and 58 minutes, and there were people young, old. There were people, probably kids. And then I remember walking and jogging next to an 88-year-old man that told me that it was his 100th race, and he was going to do everything he could to get to 125. And I'm thinking, 88 years old. I'm 47, and I'm thinking, 88 years old. If I live that long, that is a goal for me, is to be as active as I can for as long as I can. Until next time, kids.